So today I'm just want to share just a little bit about um, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, just very briefly, but how it affects me now as an adult, especially Christmas time. So I didn't have my first Christmas until I was about 14 or 15. And at that point, my mum had left the witnesses and I was 14 years old. And she had recently left my father, so there was a divorce in place there as well. So I think that she was really working hard with her five kids to just draw some sort of a relationships back together. And she decided that we were going to celebrate Christmas. Now, at that time, I was also pretty much a wild child, so I don't really recall it being a time of really nice deep connection. It was almost just quite difficult for me to grasp. I think I couldn't understand why there was a Christmas tree in the living room, and it was just being that age. I think was really difficult. So I think from there, I then actually left home when I was about 16. And I don't remember much between the ages of 14 and 16. There was a lot going on, an awful lot going on. And I left home at 16 and then never bothered with Christmas or anything like that at all. I remember working in a bar one year when I was 19 and it snowed on Christmas. And the only reason I remember is because it was a Christmas morning and I had been working the Christmas Eve, and I remember leaving the bar in the morning and going out and it was gorgeous snow. So it snowed on Christmas Day, and that's one of my other fondest memories about Christmas is that moment of the gorgeous snow and just how it felt and the silence of it and the magic of it and the beauty of it. But I never had much comprehension of Christmas at all, or had never spoke about anything to do with Christmas really. And even when I was 19 and 20 in my early 20s and I was living places where I lived, I lived in Jersey in the Channel Islands and I was there, and then I travelled a lot in my earlier adulthood. So I never really had much botherment about Christmas at all, and it was never really in my awareness to even celebrate it. But as a child, being at school was quite challenging, and obviously the other celebrations of like Halloween and Easter and things like that, always being relegated to another room in the school so that we didn't have to join in the activities. So that's my memory of it. And then coming into school after Christmas and everybody being excited about the presents and what they got and things like that. And then myself, my brothers and my cousins always having that awareness that, well, we had nothing really to say about it. It was just like, but it's funny because there must have been like an internalized belief about not being good enough, or not being loved or whatever, because we never got any gifts, you know. So my mum had a thing called a present day where we would get a little present, but that never really came in until I was kind of teens and I needed like a new pair of trainers or something like that. That's when I really recall the need for that to come. But it wasn't a regular thing. It was maybe, I think I only really remember experiencing that once or possibly twice. I'm just working where I put this light, probably there. You can see the frost in the trees, can't you? So that's one fragment of it. And yeah, so Christmas for me was just a really horrible time of witnessing other people have joy and us being told we weren't doing that kind of thing. So that being said, I now have two girls and we've been doing Christmas for maybe 13 years now, and it has been a struggle to say the least. And the other thing as well is I'm very much interested in earth-based practices and the cycles of the year and the wheel of the year. So I've done a lot of work around that and celebrating more solstice and Imbolc and Lunasa and the Lamas. So all these things I'm more in tune with. And over the years, I've tried to bring that into my family. And it was funny because last night, though, my youngest daughter said to me, "Oh, Mum, do you remember that time at the winter solstice, you took us up to the garden and we lit a fire, and you gave us all a little pouch with little things in it, you know. And I says, can you remember what was in the pouches? And she was like, no, I don't have a clue. I can't remember. Pieces of paper and rocks and things like that was what she said. And you know, so I've been trying to bring the element of solstice and of the wheel of the year into the home, but you just can't get away from the consumption of Christmas in that sense. I'm also really aware of, you know, King Winter and the abundance of King Winter and the plentifulness of King Winter, and this joyful, jolly king, who I believe is Santa Claus, right? This jolly, joyful king who is so plentiful and he's in joy, and they've worked all through the season really hard to have the abundance of foods, and then um to create, what's that word, like celebration round about this time of the year, so people all coming together and to celebrate. And I love that quality of Christmas, of winter. I really, really love the magic of it. I'm slightly disillusioned by the consumption, and it has, and I think trying to teach that to my kids um, has been something that I've been working on for years. But they're kind of teens and tweens now, and I've kind of only in the last year actually really surrendered. So this Christmas here, I've kind of went a bit. I've done things that I wouldn't have normally have done. And it's just really simple things like buying extra decorations when I'm like, I don't believe in that and I don't believe in this, and I think it's just, you know, too much stuff. But my youngest really loves Christmas. Like, she loves it. I can't tell you how much she loves it. She loves wrapping things for people. She loves cooking and baking. So I have to surrender to that. And it's funny because there's a bit inside of me that really struggles. My little girl inside struggles because I don't know what to do. You know, I don't know. It feels like I don't know what to do. Yeah, this light's not too bad. Oh, I mean, it's not too great. So maybe there. And I have to keep telling myself that I do know what to do and not to make too much a big deal out of it, and just to take one step in front of the other and just keep working with it. Because I don't align so much with the consumption, and I don't think anybody really does, of Christmas, but it's always about coming back to the magic of it, and the magic and the gratitude for during this time where our ancestors would have been really grateful because they would have worked so hard over the last few months to gather in the grain, to gather in the veg, to gather in the animals, so that they can then, as the sun and the sky starts to return, then we can so yeah, they could have what they needed for the light to return in the darkest of days. So it's that really beautiful quality that I want to cultivate, and I've just got to do my thing, and maybe the kids pick up in little bits of it, and if they don't, then that's okay too, because they're on their journey, right? They're on their journey with it as well. And yeah, it would be nice to just allow myself to be okay with Christmas as it is. So if you can allow yourself just to kind of enjoy what's there, and if, like, I really struggle gift wrapping and buying stuff just for the sake of it, but I'm working really hard to make it more meaningful and to slow things down a bit. So I think that's the practice, is meaningful and slowing things down and being grateful as I'm here, um, meeting Christmas once again, or meeting these holidays once again. And these holidays that I don't remember as a child being joyful or being exciting, they just felt like a they just felt like a struggle to try and endure as a child, if that makes sense. So rather than as an adult trying to endure these things, I'm now practicing finding gratitude in the small and the magic things. So there's my video for today, day, I think it might be 18, I think. And yeah, thank you so much for listening if you've got this far. So if you can relate in any sort of a way, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Bye for now.